Hi Sagittarius, welcome back to the Astrology 33 channel. This is your August 2021 love reading. Thanks to those of you who've liked, viewed, shared, subscribed, and donated to the channel. I appreciate all of that. And for those of you new to the channel, as far as what we have in front of us, it's what I call the bridge and the gap spread. And the way it works is we'll look at the past energies, present energies, and future energies between you and your main love interest. When we're done with all those, we'll actually pull some oracle cards for some additional insight. That's where bridging the gap dynamic comes into play. As far as the decks being used, on the left side we have the Lover's Path Tarot, and on the right side we have the Tarot Sexual Magic. And also keep in mind, while I'm going to be referring to the cards on the left as your energy and the cards on the right as the other person's, if you feel more like it's the other way around in your situation, then definitely trust that. Alright, so with all that out of the way, we'll get started. Past energy on your side, we have Desire. So this is actually the equivalent of the Chariot in traditional tarot, and that's Cancer energy, which for you guys is your 8th house. So it could just be saying you had a strong level of sexual attraction toward this person. But what I'm feeling with this as well is there could have been physical distance between the two of you. And this could just be saying that, maybe there's you might have actually went to visit this person, or at the very least there might have been some discussions around visiting each other. All right. And past position on their side, we have the Knight of Swords, which is Gemini energy, and the Fool. So seeing these two cards come up, I feel like what this is saying for the most part is the first vibe that I'm getting here is could it be one of those things where it might have come across like they had to take it or leave it mentality, where they wanted things to go their way, and then if you weren't going to let that happen, they were willing to walk away from the whole connection, or at least that might have been the impression they gave you. But it could just be pointing to a very similar energy to you guys for some of you too, which is to say with that Knight of Swords energy, which represents communication, Gemini energy, could just be saying that they also were discussing with you, yeah, we could totally visit each other, right? So I'm definitely picking up on physical distance between the two of you, possibly emotional, but I feel like it's more of a physical distance. All right. Present energy on your side, we have the Six of Cups. So this is actually Scorpio energy here. And so for some of you, this could just be saying that you might still be going through all this in your head. So with the desire, it could just be saying that, yeah, you might have the desire for this person. I'm not sure if you've expressed it yet. But for others of you, it could just be saying that this is a reconnection here. And we see the 4 cups are on one side of the water, and then the 2 cups are on the other side where they are. So it could just be saying that you might have gone through that 4 of cups energy for a while, right? Where maybe you were getting love offers from other people, maybe you started to date other people, but possibly after all that, you still felt like, okay, this is definitely the person I want to be with, So after exploring your options, you might have still felt like this is the one for you. All right, present energy on their side, we have the Hierophant, Taurus energy, 4 of Swords, Libra energy, 3 of Wands, Aries energy, and the Emperor, also Aries energy. So seeing these cards come up here, I do have to say I'm getting a similar vibe from them, where what I'm seeing with this is like them putting in a little bit of effort toward the connection, right? But then feeling like, okay, I put in a little bit of effort, now Sagittarius should come to me. That's kind of the energy I'm getting there. And it could even just be saying that it's like the back and forth for them between their higher selves with the Hierophant and then lower selves with the Emperor, so it's like a back and forth with them. So it's like they might have the good intentions in the beginning, but then they might just have some toxic habits that come back up to where they're like, all right, whatever, I put in my share, now I'll let them do the majority of the work, That's kind of the energy that I'm feeling with them. Let me see if anything else comes to mind with this. Yeah, I mean, primarily that's what I'm picking up on there, And it could just be saying that they might even try to kick those habits, but it could be a little bit hard for them to do. All right. Future energy on your side, we have the King of Staves. So this is actually the equivalent to the King of Wands, Leo energy. So it could just be saying that as we're moving through Leo energy, maybe that helps give you a little bit more confidence. So especially for those of you who are, like I said, maybe you were living through this in your head, and the future looks like you might actually be ready to come forward and express your feelings for this person. What always stands out to me is, at least in the northern hemisphere, when we think of Leo season, we think about the middle of summer, But here we see those trees in the background. They don't really have any leaves on them, so it has a totally different vibe to it. So this could just be saying that this was a long time coming, where you really might have thought this over for a long time before finally coming forward. Um, yeah, that's pretty much it there. And then future energy on their side, we have the Six of Pentacles. So this is actually Taurus energy here. And I feel like this is saying that, all right, after whatever this was, like I said, it looks like they might have been a bit more about, okay, this is how I want to do things, take it or leave it, right? Where, like I said, they might even put a little bit of effort in, but then they still expect you to do the majority of work. With the Six of Pentacles energy here, I feel like this is saying in the future they'll finally be willing to put in their fair share, right? The Six of Pentacles representing that balance. And it could even be one of those things where you have to step into your fire energy and be a bit more assertive toward them, you know? So could this be one of those things where maybe that's the energy they put out there to test someone, you know, to see like, okay, if I just start making all these demands, is this person just going to do it left and right, or are they actually going to stand up and, you know, ask to be treated as an equal? So could be one of those things where you show a little bit more fire energy and assertiveness on your part. That could actually be what helps restore the balance in the connection. All right. Bottom of the deck on your side, we have the Seven of Arrows. So this is actually Aquarius energy here. And usually when we think about Seven of Arrows, we think of deception. But with traditional tarot, the person that's running away with the swords definitely looks like they feel like they're getting away with something. They have like a bit of a sly look on their face. But here, if you look at her facial expression, she doesn't look happy at all, you know. So it could just be one of those things where I feel like what this could be saying is you might have settled for that, right? So if they were giving you less, and I feel like that could have been like I said, I'm picking up on a testing vibe there. I feel like this is saying you might have gone along with that for a bit, right? Where maybe deep down you wanted more, but you're like, oh, okay, whatever, right? But I feel like this is saying that with that King of Spades, you will come out of that energy this month. It might take until we get that second full moon in Aquarius, because that's going to be right toward the very end of Leo season, and that'll be in those degrees of Aquarius. And that's your house communication too. So it could just be saying that these might be tests that are coming up to actually nudge you forward toward communicating what you need in the connection. All right. And bottom of the deck on their side, we have the Two of Swords. So Libra energy here. And it could just be, again, similar to what I was saying, to where you know, they might just feel like they want someone else to do the majority of the work, or for somebody just could just be saying that, you know, they might have just offered a little bit, you know, just to see, all right, how much is this person going to bring to the table? But yeah, overall though, like I said, definitely looks like there can be some balance there. Looks like you guys are going to have to bring a bit more of your fire energy into the connection in order to get there. Like I said, possibly just communicating. If that's the case, I would say definitely toward that second full moon in Aquarius, which is right toward the very end of Leo season, would be the better time to do it. You know, at the time I'm recording this, we're actually basically having that first full moon in Aquarius. And then the new moon in Leo is going to be a little bit of tricky energy. I wouldn't necessarily advise trying to, you know, get things on the same page then, but definitely toward the end of Leo season, that'd be a good time. All right. So with all that out of the way, we'll see if we get anything from Aquamoonlight deck. I did pre-shuffle this deck, and I'm just looking for jumpers here, so I'll be looking for unspoken messages from you to them, and then from them to you. If I shuffle for a while without anything coming up, I'll just move on to the next Oracle deck, but occasionally we get extra messages here. Okay, got one here that doesn't, oh, two actually that don't want to go back. All right, and next we'll see if we get any from them to you. All right, nothing coming up, but I'll give it a few more shuffles. All right, got one there. So, all right, we have moving on. It says, I feel like we both need to go our separate ways for a while. So yeah, interesting message there. For some of you, I feel like that could have been more what you were feeling in the past. Because like I said, for whatever reason, it seems like there was the desire there, but it feels like you were kind of living through that in your head. Um, I thought maybe that could have been the case with the past position, but then seeing the Six of Cups in the present, especially for you guys, since Scorpio energy is your 12th house, I feel like that was for some of you where it's like, yeah, the thought was there, but I don't know if there was the actual action. But keywords, though, it says for a while. So I feel like even if that's the case, I feel like you knew that wouldn't have been a temporary thing, but, maybe you're just feeling the disconnect and you wanted to just move away from it. All right. And we have anger. It says, I'm upset and I need some time to cool down. So interesting energy there, because with both of these, I can see where that might have taken place, because like I said, it looks like in the past, this person was definitely doing that my way or the highway type energy. And like I said, even in the present, it looks like if they step up a little bit, it looks like they put in some effort, but then they still want you to do the majority of the lifting. So I feel like this is saying that you guys just might have had some frustration around that. And if that's the case, I could totally see this being a conversation that could happen around the time of that Leo new moon that I mentioned. So, if this is something that you'd rather avoid, I would say maybe just withdraw from the connection around that time. And then as we get closer to the end of Leo season, it might be a better time to address these things. But hopefully that resonated with some of you. And on their side, all right, we have fantasy. It says, I wish I could. So, interesting message there. So, yeah, I mean, it definitely does look like there's the desire on their part, but like I said, it looks like it's going to have to take for you guys to stand up to actually get them to put in their fair share with that Six of Pentacles we see in the future. So maybe that's what this all comes down to. Possibly you guys do have an argument, right? Maybe there is a blow up that happens at some point, and then that could be where that Leo energy is coming from there, right? Where you gotta have that prideful energy, and then that could be what finally gets things back on track for the two of you. So hopefully that resonated. And lastly, we'll pull a card from the Wisdom of the Oracle deck. I pre-shuffled this deck as well, but here we're just looking for one card with general advice, and we'll wrap up. All right, so nothing's coming up there, so what I'll do is we'll just put the deck down and give me a few seconds to tune in, and we'll actually just pull a card. All right, we'll go with this one. All right, we have Breathe. There's the artwork, and the number is 29. I think Leo actually got this card too, so I don't know. I guess it's just asking people to have patience this month. But let's see. Okay, it says patience, waiting, going slowly, wellness, meditation, trust. The Oracle's message. Patience in all things is called for right now. What do you need to do when you're in a rush? Slow down, of course. Meditate and trust. Breathe and repeat. Humans cannot exist without drawing breath. Now is the time to allow the life-giving element of air to replenish your body, your being, and your very essence. Stop to smell the roses, breathe in the sunlight, and release the darkness, and miracles will appear. So definitely a pretty positive message there. Hopefully that resonated with you. And it's interesting though, because it mentioned the whole thing about patience and not rushing. But like I said, I feel like while that can be an energy you guys are sometimes noted for having. I feel like there was like a lot of energy in your head here in the past and even in the present. But hopefully that resonated with some of you. The relationship message says, don't be in too much of a hurry right now. The heart needs time to open. Take a breath and let nature take its course. Release constriction and anxiety, for there is no need for tension. Savor the moment, and the waiting won't prove difficult. Your heart knows what the ego often resists learning. Patience pays off in deep and meaningful ways. So, pretty positive message there as well. And I will say, as far as the patience pays off in deep and meaningful ways, like I said, it does look like for sure in the future they have that Six of Pentacles energy to where they will put in that equal effort. But yeah, it looks like it's definitely going to take a little bit of time. So that could be where they're factoring in the patience there. And like I said, it might just be one of those things that as we get toward the end of Leo season, we get that second full moon in your house communication. It'll be right with Jupiter. That might be a better time to address these things and actually see that forward movement. All right, so hopefully that resonated with you guys. We'll wrap up there, and I'll see you all next month. All right, bye.